One of the first projects I did was for my friend Bill. We took his 1948 International truck cab and we put it on a modern roll-off chassis. Not the easiest thing to do, a lot of heavy metal. The truck needed to be wider to fit on the frame, so I started with the front fenders. This concept needed a lot of fabrication on the understructure just to get to the mock-up. I never built a tilt nose on a truck this big, so I needed to see it in action.
It's just damn heavy.
Look at that thing. Par for the course. All of this work, I finally get the thing ready to tilt, and it's stuck. Bill's standing right there. It's just perfect.
It wouldn't move. It wouldn't move. And I went back to the, damn, it's so heavy, we can't do it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, now what?
When you got 5 million welds, your percentage of some attaching themselves to the cab is increased. So in the end, that's what happened. The thing would not hinge open because it was welded shut. Like that. And it'll pivot up. Like that. There it is. In the end, the truck worked out great. The thing I like most about it is the front view. Obviously, we know the fenders are widened, but you don't think that when you look at it. You just think, what a frickin' big truck.
There's not one thing I would change on this truck. I love everything about it. A lot of that is due to Ian and his persistence and his fabrication. It's a multi-functioning truck. It'll function as a flatbed truck, a dump truck, a van, does everything.
Bill's truck turned out to be one of my favorite builds. The biggest satisfaction comes from the fact that it's a real working vehicle, and that's cool. Another project I did was a super custom 1964 Bug. It was based off a toy car someone gave me. One of the coolest custom pieces was the headlights and mounting brackets. These headlights are pretty crazy. They're actually pieces of spun aluminum that I found in the scrapyard. So I really made this whole unit. I had some glass lenses and I made everything else. They're seal beam bulbs that I glued in behind these antique lenses. So they're 12-volt high-low beams. They look like vintage car parts, but they're handmade. Really badass. The other cool feature is the way they mount on the car. So it's a round tube, so they're adjustable up and down. You can move them in and out because you'll see when you steer, it's very close, like so. And when the hood shuts, these strange little shapes clear the hood. You could really see the difference when we pulled it next to a stock Bug. I really loved the stance and the radically chopped roofline. The thing I like most about the chop in the roof is just the radical nose-down look of the whole thing. At first, I was building the car for myself, but I listed it for sale, and that's how I met Mark. Not only did Mark buy the Bug, but he brought another project for me to work on.
Oh yeah, I got something for you. I brought you something.
Okay, I heard that there was a little treasure in the trailer.
I got a little treasure in the trailer, all the way down from the frozen north.
Whoa, what the heck is that thing?
That's a 51 Henry J.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen one. That's crazy, and it has no trunk. What kind of car doesn't have a trunk?
We have lots of projects, both Viv and I, and I'll never get to them all, so it's like, okay, let's give one to Ian and see what he comes up with. And if it's anything like that Volkswagen over there, we're gonna get a pretty nice hot rod out of this. Seeing his work, you know, through the video, seeing the car now in person, yeah, I mean, I trust him 100%. I think it's just his creativity, and it gets down to his hands, and that's what he can fabricate and do. So, yeah, I have full faith in him to turn that project we just left him here into something. He's just a guy that can take nothing and build it into something. That is phenomenal in my book.
When I first met Mark, little did I know I would be working on some of the craziest projects, and this Henry J was just the tip of the iceberg. Next, I got started on Mark's Henry J, and it was all about chopping the top. It got pretty technical, but I knew I wanted to retain as much of the rear roof as possible, so I started in the front and worked my way back. I got the A-pillars all finished off. I'm committing to this chop. That's the height of the roof. I wasn't looking forward to cutting this roof and making it wider, but I think I'm gonna have to. I started looking at it, and I found that this drip rail was actually tapered. So I think I can use this to my advantage. It looks like the drip rail is straight all the way through the door, and then right at the B-pillar, it starts to taper in. So if I was to attach the B-pillar, trim it, and pull the rear of the roof out, it'll go straight right back through. It'd be easier to cut the drip rail off, but by leaving that, people are gonna think it's a stock part, and then they're gonna start wondering. So that's what I gotta do, cut the whole roof, lengthwise, back to front. I thought this chop was gonna be a walk in the park. I told the client it was gonna be like the VW Bug I made for him, and that was easy. Oops. You never know what you're gonna get into. The only way through it is to keep moving forward. The cuts in the roof turned out to be a lot smaller than I thought they were going to be, and that was a huge relief. From there, it was just a matter of filling in the gaps with sheet metal and finishing it off. This kind of work is really tedious, but it's the end results that really show what the effort was from the start. I think the end result with this chop was that it's very subtle. Could have gone really radical. It looks good from every angle, and that's what I was really trying to accomplish. My friend Don, his wife Patty's birthday is coming up. He wants to get her something really cool. Her family has a long history with dune buggies, so he's thinking about putting together one for her.
It's going to be a total surprise for her. Growing up, her dad had a Myers-Manx when they first came out, and my wife had a lot of good memories with that dune buggy out at Pismo and some of the desert areas with that.
Don is a car fanatic. His wife is a little more conservative. She's always wondering what he's doing over here. He's got 6 million cars. I think that this dune buggy might seal the deal. It might win her over to our side.
It's just going to be epitome of driving around in something cool, you know, especially done by Ian, because he's so creative.
A lot of my ideas seemed pretty crazy at the time, but actually pulling it off is the big challenge, you know? It's almost like there's a Jekyll and Hyde scenario. I had to make this electric motor work with the Volkswagen transaxle. I tried to make the simplest possible coupler. I used an old clutch disc and just welded it to a couple pieces of tubing. That fits the Volkswagen transaxle. What do you think about that? First gear is here, and then second gear. The electric motor was only going to spin one way, and that was backwards. So I put the car in reverse, and I made 4 different voltages that spun the motor at different speeds. And then with 4 batteries, you'll have 4 gears. Should go 1,000 miles an hour. I finished it up, painted it, and took it for a quick test run before I showed Patty.
Birthday present.
Oh, I like the red.
Hot damn, she loved it. She really, really loved it.
It's way cool. I like that it's sparkly, and I like the red. The pinstripes and everything on it is really cool, draws a lot of attention. It's way cool, I like it.
I think my favorite thing that Ian did with the car is going electric with it. I think that is just way cool, and it shows how talented he is.
It's really cool to drive. It's a lot of fun. I love it!
The Cool factor about this whole build was that Patty's family was into dune buggies. I mean, for years, like old school when the thing first happened. So to restore this original Survivor and give it back to her, it's like it came full circle. We're in Ventura, California. It's the Chopper Fest. Just looking around, see what's happening. I got a couple ideas of a bike I want to build, and I'm just seeing what's out there. Seems like the bike world's taken a couple turns in what's popular with style. For me, the 60s, 70s, the chopper thing that was going on is really the core of it. This project was all about the look. So once I got the engine and frame kind of figured out, it was really all about the seat and body shape. This bike has a solid rear end. It's a rigid, it has no rear suspension. I need a comfortable seat. I was looking around for seats, motorcycle seats, horse saddles, wheelbarrows, anything. You know, it just occurred to me, I've been sitting, working for 10 years, 8 hours a day on this freaking work seat. I think it's perfect. I want the seat to be right on the axle. As soon as I put it in place, I was like, wow, it's low back, really wide. It's perfect. With the seat in place, I wanted to start building the fenders. You can see it swings down and then out and then back around, and it's all one panel. In the end, I'm gonna paint these fenders so they look like some kind of a carnival freak show. I want it to look like you're locked in on some kind of a wild ride. The whole thing with this is to look like a giant toy. It looks like a big wheel. It's one thing to think about a project, but to see it right there, it's great. It's what I live for. It was fun to take it to the Born Free show and see that other people were digging it too. Hot rods are a purely American thing. They started with early Fords mostly, 20s and 30s Fords. As I understand, GIs came home from World War II and they wanted to go fast. These were made from cheap cars that were just sitting around, just waiting to be hot rodded. These cars are really desirable. They're making fiberglass reproductions, all steel reproductions, so to find an original surviving all-metal body, that's the best starting point. One of the more unique things of this build was the roof. Every Model A has a hole in the roof. Can't get around it. One of the cool factors is it really gives you an opportunity to kind of make your mark. He wired some wires up through the body, and he put these LEDs inside. In the end, it's all about craftsmanship. You know, that is a very custom third brake light.
Oh, look at that. Boy, somebody will see me for miles away. Perfect.
At the end of the day, Don was really happy. He's got a cool hot rod, and he loves to drive it. The whole thing about 50s customs is the style, the flow of it, the silhouette. It's really an artistic thing. What most people are trying to do with these cars is make them look better than stock. Everybody has their opinion, and that's why no two cars are alike. My friend Bill had a 55 four-door Oldsmobile. The initial idea was to freshen it up a little bit, but of course, as things went along, it got a lot more involved. First, I chopped the top, and Bill really liked it. Seeing the roof 3 inches lower, I know I nailed it. But standing around looking at it, it just needs something else. I used the stock rear door to complete the quarter panel, and Bill and I decided on a two-tone paint job.
A lot of people don't know this, but pinstriping actually was an art form that was made up to cover up bad bodywork. So striping's always in the same places, in the front of the hood, in the middle of the deck lid, and that's where the emblems and stuff had been shaved off. And then over the headlights and over the taillights, because that's where they would French the headlights or French the taillights. But later on, custom bodywork was taking so long, people would have their cars at their shops for so long that they're like, let's just get a stock car, lower it, and do a panel paint job on it. Like, has a stock original paint around it, we'll just tape it all off and spray another color, or we'll tape it all off and just do striping around it. And that's basically what we're doing.
I really like the pinstriping. It's subtle, but it came out great.
Got the car finished up and on the road, and Bill was super happy.
You know, with Ian, every time I get him on board, none of these projects are simple. This was a huge, big undertaking. This thing was really rough, and he did a marvelous job on it. Just take a look at it. He really walked the last mile on it.
I love the way this Oldsmobile looked when it was finished. It was pretty classy, nothing too crazy. Always cool to see a nice old car on the road. This next project was one of my own. It's a 1949 International Harvester Metro van. It's a delivery truck that I put on a modern pickup truck chassis. This episode was all about the interior. I've done a whole ton of work on this van, but for any cool custom van, it's all about the interior. And if you want to have a party in here, this stuff ain't gonna fly. I gotta fix it. The thing I like most about this, it's just funky. You don't see them. I've had VW buses since I was 15. I've always loved them, and this is like a big brother to a VW bus. It's like the next bigger size. It's able to tow. It has a good V6 engine with a manual transmission. It's the same idea as the VW bus, but rarer and cooler. My whole concept with this is like a dual-purpose vehicle. During the week, it's a work truck, and on the weekends, it's a play vehicle. I want it to be able to convert from work truck to camper pretty easily. I called my friend Bob to give me a hand.
Ian's working on a project, and he said he could use my help, and so I thought he'd come out and work with him again. Every time I get the opportunity, I'd love to come out.
This is the start of the rear deck. The whole idea is these panels are gonna fold up and become the walls of the van when you're in work mode. And then if you go camping or whatever, this is actually a big mat. It's a big bed you could sleep on. I'm gonna work on fabbing up the structure out of angle iron. I came up with some material that could act as hinges, so Bob's gonna build the hinges and I'm gonna build a frame. This is a really simple barrel hinge design. It's just a solid shaft that fits inside of a collar. Bob's just cutting a bunch of blank pieces and making sure they pivot right.
Since we're fabricators and body men, we don't like to go to the store and buy hinges when we can make them.
I need some material for the walls. They're gonna be upholstered. I had a couple acrylic sheets, plexiglass. It'll work perfect. You could use pretty much anything. It's gonna be covered with vinyl in the end. I just cut it to fit and put a couple screws in it. What do you think, man? You need a couple bean bags, a few bongos.
Cooler, full of ice cold beverages.
I really thought about how this was gonna work, and I decided by butting this frame up against the door jambs, when I lifted them up, they were gonna clip into place, and it worked.
I'm really enthused about getting to work on it, and I'm really glad he did this project, you know, for himself. You know, it's something really, really nice.
The van's together. I got the airbags in, it's a driver. The big secret it's hiding is it's my old work truck. It's a 1988 GMC pickup truck. From the radiator to the gas tank, I modified the whole thing and put this international body over it, so it drives like a modern vehicle. It's got a Vortec V6 with a manual 5-speed. Airbags all around. It's a bitchin' ride. I chose this kind of oxblood color vinyl for the interior because I just thought it would look rich. You know, the exterior of the van is pretty mellow, but when you look inside, it's pretty special. I spent a lot of time on the structure of the fold-down walls. I wanted them to be very usable, so this whole hinge and steel mechanism I came up with has proven to work well. I still have this van. I'm kind of glad I didn't get rid of it because my friend Rich Evans is going to use it for his vintage flats paint company as a display vehicle. One of the craziest projects I did in season 1 was for my friend Victor. He wanted to make a custom bubble top for his 1962 Thunderbird. I'd never done it before, and creating a bubble that big turned out to be really difficult. In order to do it, I needed to build a massive oven in order to heat the plastic. Big challenge trying to figure out how to heat this thing up. I'm just hitting walls with it. We gotta lift the lid up and see what went wrong. It looks like the metal and everything tore right out of the roof of the box. It tore off the lid.
So we actually damaged and warped the first mold. I said, you know, just crank the pressure on it. That was the wrong thing to do, but hey, it's a good story.
After it got destroyed, we rebuilt the mold and made it a lot stronger. Typical Victor style, he wanted to push the whole thing further and make an entirely new shape. The good thing is this is working just like all the rest. The heat's even, the thing's inflating, it's looking good. Oh, the front, look at this. Amazing. We're there. I can't push it anymore. I'm gonna raise it up. It's the moment of truth. Oh, we got it, man. Look at that.
Yeah, see, that's what I was looking for.
Everything looks great. It's back into shape. The whole idea is to just cool it off, raise it up out of the box, and unclamp this beast. I took this 1/2-inch MDF board and created a series of templates off of the bubble Victor liked most. I spaced them out 8 inches apart, made a whole bunch of support to withstand the pressure of this bubble pushing against it, and fastened it to the backboard. Getting the buck off of this thing really revealed that it was a successful idea. This was uncharted territory, and the result was ideal. It's pretty crazy. But the real tell is going to be how it fits on the car. That's what this is all about. This car has been in the works for a long time. It is a concept car. It's gone through so many phases of development, and now to have it finally wrapped, I'm stoked.
The car came out amazingly beyond my expectation. On the bubble top, the interior, this is a total custom build.
The bubble top is next level.
The car is, like I said, a piece of art. I mean, the car is a masterpiece.
I saw Victor pull in the driveway with this thing. It's like, get out of the way, mister. I want this car.
Well, Ian, when he came in and seen it, all of the ideas all came together, and he was impressed.
The thing drives up and it looks like a spaceship. I wish it didn't have tires. You open the bubble top and the interior is just going off. There's all kinds of crazy stuff going on in there.
I'm ecstatic, he's ecstatic with it. Everything flows just perfect.
The first season was a ton of work, but I'm used to that. The thing was the great unknown. We just threw it out there to whatever might come in the door, and it really was a great time.